right out of high school, I moved to Nashville and lived out there for a few months and worked in a church, and I really felt the call of God on my life to do music and to lead people in praise and worship and to write songs and play my guitar. I was born and raised in Oklahoma. I'm a country boy, and I'm glad to be a country boy. Grew up out here on a farm. In fact, this is where I grew up. My folks raised me in a Christian environment, and I'm grateful for that. I was fortunate through a Christian school to get to learn gospel music, and I started playing praise and worship in high school, and I was kind of bent that way. I was leaning that way anyways because my whole family plays music. My dad and his uncles, they used to sing in a group called Fiery Brothers, and they traveled all over the place and were real popular, and they did gospel bluegrass music, and they're some of the best musicians I've ever seen. So I was fortunate to be involved in what they did and learn under them. And my dad and my uncle operated Fiery Brothers Music, music store here in Tulsa, and we took over our family's music store, and we're real involved in that and real excited. And so I was kind of brought up in that whole environment, that musical family, and was real fortunate to be involved in that kind of stuff.
I started in music when I was really young. I started doing theater professionally when I was 10 years old, and so I was kind of thrust into it at an early age, and my parents were great. They were so supportive of anything musical, and did that growing up and went to school to do musical theater. I got my BFA in musical theater and dance, and so I was always really involved in the arts. I knew that music was my passion. I came out to Oklahoma to do a musical here. Actually, I did Oklahoma in Oklahoma. So I met my husband, and around that same time, things were shifting for me. I think God was kind of asking me to use my talents in a different way for Him, and I felt like theater, as much as I loved it, maybe wasn't where I was going to spend the rest of my life. So I started moving out of that, and I wasn't sure where I was moving to. I just knew that that was what I needed to get out of for a while. At that same time, we moved to Nashville, and my husband was on the road with FFH at the time. And so I didn't know what I was doing. I took a break from singing for a while, and my first thing was that I felt that God said, I kept saying, what are you calling me to do? You're telling me not to do theater, but what am I supposed to do? And that was kind of a difficult time, and didn't know what. I said, I'll do whatever you want me to do. You just got to tell me what it is. And I felt like He said, I'm calling you to be a helpmate first. And I felt like I knew, even if I didn't know what I was going to do, I felt that I knew what He was supposed to do, and that my husband was supposed to be a worship leader, and that he was, God put that guitar in his hand and said, go play it for me. And I knew that, and so He said, help him, if that means administratively, if that means calling churches, if that means helping him, while he's on the road. And then it just developed more. All of a sudden, it was neat. He took me out of it for a while to give it right back to me. He said, I'm going to still let you do music. I just needed to let you know why I wanted you to do it. I need your help. So I'm choosing you today. When 1,000 voices scream, when every hand is reaching, it's easy to compromise, to step outside the lines, just a touch of grace. I need to make a change. I'm choosing you today.
Oh, it's hard to really pinpoint our style. My parents fed me the Jim Croce, James Taylor folk music, and it definitely falls into my style now just because I was raised listening to that. Listened to a lot of bluegrass, and then I got into contemporary Christian in high school. So, it's kind of hard to put in a box, to be honest with you. There's a lot of folk acoustic elements mixed with some pop electric guitar type stuff. So I don't know, you can't really describe it, but I do believe it's a cool sound. It's a new sound. I think we're covering some ground that hasn't really been covered before with our music and with our style and the way we're using instruments and things. So. I'm choosing you today. When 1,000 voices scream, when every hand is reaching, it's easy to compromise, to step outside the line, just a touch of grace. I need to make a change. I'm choosing you today. When 1,000 voices scream, when every hand is reaching, it's easy to compromise.
it's a unique thing for us to be a married couple on the road, you know, and to be able to, because he deals with temptations and problems that the men we're ministering to might be dealing with, and then I can connect with the women on things. So it's really nice that we can kind of bring both of those perspectives, and we're kind of at that in-between age, you know, we're both kind of right out of college and we're married, so we also kind of feel like we can connect to the young singles. So we're just at a really cool point in our lives where we feel like we can minister to a lot of different people, and we come back with a lot too. You know, we'll come back after hearing a speaker at a different church, and that really enhances our marriage when we can come back and hear and put into practice some of the sermons we're hearing on the road.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, we found that there's always power in numbers, and we offer kind of a more broad ministry because she's a woman, I'm a man. We just kind of get each other. I get men, she gets women, and so it helps us. We're more sensitive to the needs of them because we understand what they're going through, and she's able to minister to a lot of the women. I'm able to minister to a lot of the guys, and
I think it's nice because it opens us up to more opportunities too, because where a lot of bands maybe are, and this is great that they are entertainers, they go in and they do a show. We're so blessed because we can go in and do a concert, but we can also do a women's retreat or an anniversary celebration for a church. I feel like it's opened us up to so many more opportunities. And our style is that, opens us up to that too, because we love to lead worship. We can do kind of that more intimate thing, but then he can pull out his electric guitar if they want to go in that direction too. So that's kind of neat.
So lay up your treasures in heaven where no thief can come and steal. Lay up your treasures in heaven where its worth and value are real. Oh, offer your life to the Lord with all the blessings you've been given. You'll receive your just reward if you'll lay up your treasures in heaven.